Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Naruto Explain here, bringing you guys another Boruto Two Blue Vortex discussion. Today, I want to bring up something to you guys' attention that I've seen a few people mention ever since the Omnipotence Shinjutsu was very first casted, and now that Boruto appears to be in possession of training that clearly indicates he's trained with toads, I want to revisit a point that you guys made down in the comment section below, which is the possibility that Ada and Momoshiki are wrong about who is affected by the Shinjutsu, in particular the animals who are connected to the Great Sage regions. I don't think we can blame Ada for not being fully aware of who is and isn't an exception to her powers, because she doesn't know how to properly use them and she can't actually control them. It's just as Momoshiki told us, Amato gave the powers of a god to a girl who's way in over her head when it comes to making use out of them properly. Amato did the equivalent of giving a 16-year-old a Dodge Challenger Hellcat with the red key that gives you the full 700 horsepower or Corvette C8 and say, go take it for a spin. There's a good chance that 16-year-old doesn't have the skill required to handle those cars without wrecking them in the process. And same is true with Ada. She can't control all that power at her fingertips, so there's no reason to think that she's an expert at anything related to it, because you can't be an expert at something and know the intricacies and the ins and outs to them unless you yourself are a full master at the thing that you're weighing in on, which Ada clearly isn't. You guys, way back when Boruto Naruto Next Generations chapter 80 dropped, raised the question of whether or not animals connected to the Sage regions are immune to the Omnipotence Shinjutsu. So I immediately brushed it off because you guys are referencing filler when this was done, and you guys know my stance when it comes to filler from Naruto and Naruto Shippuden. Kishimoto wasn't nearly as involved in Naruto and Naruto Shippuden arcs as he was when he was involved with stuff with Boruto's anime, like that time slip arc and the Chocho training arcs that people hate. Each of those were his story drafts, which is why you'll hear me say that I'll take quote filler from Boruto before I take any of the quote filler from Naruto's two anime. I'll take everything from the two Naruto anime in terms of filler with a grain of salt. However, because of recent developments and because of everything that has happened, I do want to revisit some of the points that you guys have made, because contrary to the belief that a vocal minority have, I actually read every comment. I just can't reply to every comment because it triggers something in the YouTube algorithm system that will get your channel in trouble. I know that firsthand from having gone through it before. You're only allowed a certain number of comments per day before YouTube looks at it like it's artificial traffic. So I thought about some of the points that you guys are making down in the comment section. I want to bring it up to this video because while I personally think this isn't going to be the case, that we find out that the animals are immune to it, I think the argument is strong enough that it can't fully be dismissed. So like, I've moved from thinking this isn't possible to saying, hey, you guys might actually be onto something, this might actually be right. So in that Kaguya filler arc that I personally think is down in the dumps with Kiba's character development, we were introduced to the story of Kaguya's early life on Earth and how she raised her two sons into being the Hagoromo and Hamura that the legends talk about. During that time, one of the things we learn is that each time that Kaguya performed the infinite Tsukiyomi ritual to harvest life and turn people into white Zetsu for our army, the Sage regions were unaffected at first. The Great Toad Sage was much younger at the time and was the one who told Hagoromo the truth about his mother and recalled the history of Kaguya to him, including the circumstances surrounding his birth. In that arc, we learned that while the Toad region was mostly shielded from what Kaguya was doing, ultimately the creatures of that land were slowly being affected by what Kaguya was carrying out, because they're already starting to see the effects of Kaguya's latest effort during that time period. This served as the foundation for people saying there exists the possibilities that the animal summonings, in particular the toads, are unaffected by the Shinjutsu that Kawaki triggered in Ada into actually using because of how special the Sage regions are. Another reason for this belief is that Kishimoto was supposedly directly involved in this filler arc for the anime, which I'll admit, when it was first airing for the first time and I was still cutting my teeth on my KRYPTONIAN SAIYAN YouTube channel reviewing that anime to get reps in, to get more comfortable making content and more comfortable with my delivery, I parroted that line that was going around at the time that the anime director for Shippuden said at the time he had taken extensive input from Kishimoto on that arc, and I only said that information back then because I trusted the source back when it was said, even though that source has been proven to be hit or miss on information and has fallen victim to some of the fake interview quotes that existed back when misinformation was a lot easier to spread in the anime community, because it's not like it is today where we have multiple people who can translate and provide raw scans in real time. Back then it was a whole hell of a lot harder to get your hands on information, at least until we had Organic Dinosaur and some of the other people from Naruto forums translating that were based in Japan, and you had SAIYAN Island providing transcripts and translations and videos for us. So here's the thing, I've never been able to track down the source of that quote. I have literally 15 to 20 Masashi Kishimoto interviews on my hard drive, and I've got more video that I need to send to somebody to have it translated, because it was stuff that aired on TV Tokyo, or it aired and people were able to get footage of it. Obviously I don't speak Japanese, so I don't know everything that's said there, but just based off of what I've seen so far, everything regarding Kishimoto being involved in this arc, it's all secondhand information. It's a bunch of he said, she said. There's no primary source for this belief that Kishimoto is involved. And as you guys know, I'll do fan theories and I'll speculate on stuff, but if we have a primary source where it's actually something written down and it's official, I'll put that above everything else. This isn't like, say, early Naruto, where we know for a fact that Kishimoto closely worked with the staff in the anime, because I literally have the full anime transcript of his interview where he talked about handpicking the first director for Naruto's anime and some of the staff that worked on the first Naruto anime. I have the transcript where one of the writers from Shippuden's anime said that Kishimoto gave them story for the Road to the Ninja filler episodes in the anime, because during that time Kishimoto did something he had never done before, and that's step in and give the story and the storyboards for the Naruto Shippuden movie Road to the Ninja in order to get ideas that he had for the manga that he couldn't squeeze into the manga story until that movie was given to us and he wanted to get out to the public. Case in point, how he had talked about wanting to draw Sakura's parents in the past in the manga, but we couldn't actually get that in the manga story, hence it ended up being in the movie. However, this quote about the Kaguya filler, even after all these years, I think it's been 6 or 7 years since that filler arc had actually aired, I've never actually been able to surface anything beyond secondhand information. If you have a primary source for it, DM me on Instagram, DM me on Twitter, email me the information. I would love to see it. However, it's for that reason, since I can't see a primary source for it, I do throw that arc in the trash. For that reason, as well as because it doesn't line up with Naruto's manga, giving us Kaguya with her two-horned form when she came to Earth, and Boruto's manga showing us the same thing. There was no pre-chakra fruit MILF mommy, I've been a bad boy Kaguya. The Kaguya who came here was less OnlyFans model Kaguya and more, it's 3 a.m. at the club, the lights have just come on and I gotta leave it something to smash for the night, or else I'm playing one-handed boxing with myself tonight. However, to play devil's advocate, there are some times where Kishimoto has pulled information from Naruto and Naruto Shippuden filler into the main story before of the manga. A classic example being how one of the 7 ninja swordsmen of the mist, Raiga, started out as a filler character and he got brought into the main canon of the manga story by the events of Naruto Volume 69, where we get the flashback of Might Guy's father right before Guy opened the 8th gate. So there have been times where filler has been brought into the Naruto story, and in Boruto, in both the anime and manga, there have been times where something from Naruto Shippuden filler has been brought into the main canon of the story. Enough times I've legitimately considered going back to watch the filler because it's happened so much. Longtime viewers know I prefer manga over anime. I've read Naruto's manga over 50 times. I've not seen every Naruto canon episode. I just particularly prefer manga over anime. However, I do think that if we do go this route, and this is something that's confirmed, that Kaguya filler arc, we have an answer as to how Boruto was able to learn and form those bonds with the Toads to a point where he has one working with on familiar terms with them, because given the history of the Toads and the Hidden Leaf Village, you'd think that they would be some of the first to warn the village, hey, Boruto, the kid that killed Naruto, he's in Mount Miyaboku right now. He's training. It would also give us more lore regarding the 3 great sage regions, because so far there isn't a ton of information regarding them. The most we know about the sage regions actually comes from, I believe, either the second data book or it comes from the second Naruto fan book. So I do think this presents an opportunity for more lore expansion, which is never a bad thing. Naruto is one of those series that has a ton of lore. It's a lore pit. It's why you guys have heard me say repeatedly, Boruto in it tomorrow. There's enough lore surrounding Naruto's manga that I could continue making YouTube videos 4 days a week for the next 5 years. So it does make you wonder, if the summoning animals are immune, then who else might be immune to the effects of the omnipotence? And it does make you wonder, why with these animals? Because animals are still beings that have chakra, and the omnipotence supposedly works by scrambling the chakra inside the brain to affect their memory. So I do wonder about this being the case. It would line up with Momoshiki and Kaguya not taking into account the exceptions to the rule and not fully understanding everything about the earth, which in turn makes you question, why is it that the chakra fruit of the earth is as valuable as it is? Why do so many Otsutsuki want this chakra fruit in particular? That's actually going to be my chapter question, you guys. Do you guys think that the summoning animals are immune to the shinjutsu, and why? And is there something else from the Naruto Shippuden filler, maybe even Boruto filler, that you think offers a better explanation here? I'm so curious to know you guys' thoughts on this. While you think that over, click here to watch this Naruto Explain video.